the DevSecOps cycle, whatever the tools and all that, the cycle from development, from security, from operation, the cycle is actually infinite.
Yes, correct.
Because it keep on moving, progressing as more tools are available, more technologies are available, or more expertise or more knowledge is gained, then it keep on improving. Yeah. For all project managers out there, now take notes, yeah. These tools are available in the market at zero cost. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, Mr. CEO, there is no reason for you not to comply on the DevSecOps.
ISO 27000, like PCI DSS.
Okay.
Or even best practices guidelines like OWASP. Okay, Open Web Application Suite project, right? And then we also have institutional legal requirements like from ministries like RMIT. Okay, risk management in IT. This is for Malaysian context. Okay, and you have various other regulations that you want to keep to. Okay, so these practices kind of sets what you really need to do.
Okay.
So it depends on how engaged you are or how deep you are in the process, and that will mean how far are you going to go in your implementation of this. Even engineering-wise, the scope can be controversial because you can't really fix the scope.
Okay. Hi, welcome back to our Banking in the Cloud podcast. I think we did the first series last episode, we talked about digital banking. And today we'll be talking about DevSecOps. We have an expert here, Aziz, who will later on share with us in detail what is DevSecOps and why is it important in the project development, why is it important to you as a customer, and why is it important in technology as a whole. Yeah. Based on this was derived, the DevSecOps topic was derived as we received feedback from the audience out there that wanted to know more about DevSecOps and how it applies to technology today and how it applies to when we develop solutions and when the banks wanted to choose a particular solution, whether this methodology is being used or not, right?
So this is one of the challenges for us, right? As bankers, right? As development software for banking, right? To be able to keep up the times. And this is why you have to understand the concepts of it. Okay, there was another point which I missed earlier on, which I said we would put a bit later, was actually to speak about Agile. Okay, so Agile also ties to this concept. As you well know, right? Today, everything changes at the speed.
Yep.
Yeah, we might say the speed of light, but it's really, really fast.
Yes.
Okay? Maybe not that fast, right?
Yes.
But so, you need agility. Okay. Our traditional methods of project management typically is what we call a waterfall method, right? So waterfall method will be you will set a work breakdown structure and then you will operate based on this scope. It's a very precise scope. It is not bad to say. It's not, let's say, it's not working. It's been working for many, many years. It's been working well for many, many years. Right? But in this particular context, it is a bit challenging because the customer requirements change so much and so quickly. The environment changed so much so quickly. This is why we adopt the Agile method, because the Agile method, all right, but it's not perfect, right? But it allows you to iteratively, right, repeat and understand your process. So as you operate, you will look at what's the weaknesses. You will incorporate this into your planning stage. You will reincorporate it in your development stage, and then you will incorporate it into your operation stage. Right? So this is really an iterative process. And then it starts again. So I finish now. I reiterate, allocate it.
Correct.
What's your cycle? It depends on.
So the DevSecOps cycle, whatever the tools and all that, the cycle from development, from security, from operation, the cycle is actually infinite.
Yes, correct.
Because it keep on moving, progressing as more tools are available, more technologies are available, or more expertise or more knowledge is gained, then it keep on improving. Yeah. Where else you mentioned about waterfall, it's just falling, and that's it. Once you hit the bottom, correct? Where else Agile, DevSecOps, it's infinite. It's infinite. Oh, right, interesting. So in other words, it won't be even the tools that is being used under DevSecOps, it cannot be. I mean, if let's say the provider of these tools do not practice DevSecOps or do not keep pace with the requirement in the DevSecOps, I think they'll be obsolete.
Unfortunately, yes. That is
okay.
It. I wouldn't want to put a real pin on it because
Right.
obviously things can change,
Right.
and I need to be agile in my
Okay.
thinking.
Okay.
That,
Yeah. Right. So
that could be
that could be
that seems to be where we're heading.
yeah. So I think for everyone understanding agility, DevSecOps, the infinity, the loops are infinity. As you progress, as you started today, but at the end of even at the end of your project, let's say your delivery project is 3 years, let's say for that matter, the methodology, the tools, when you starting to do the project, and by the time you completed the project, the tools, the methodology might change because keeping constant that you need to constantly develop, you need to constantly secure, and you need to operate. So the movement still from day one until day, let's say day 900 over the man days, 900 over days, it moves. So agility comes in, new tools comes in, and you keep on improving. It's infinite. Correct. I understand.
So I mean, the only constant is change.
Yes.
Actually. And
So this will give the customer a TikTok. I mean, the best of the best.
yes.
Yes.
There's actually another complexity now. This is fairly new. I think I would say this might be a phenomenon within the next couple of years. Is that there is another addition to DevSecOps.
Okay.
I'll coin it here.
Okay.
We'll see whether this picks up or not.
Okay.
AI DevSecOps.
Yep.
Because AI starts coming into play now very significantly.
Very and very fast.
Okay. I probably the challenge of AI right now is really to sort out all of those copyright issues. Right now, there's a lot of things because AI trains from obviously knowledge that is there, and unfortunately, most of them include copyrighted material.
Yes.
But I don't think that AI would go away. Eventually, they will sort it out on the legal manner on how they want to sort it out for AI, right? But AI will certainly become a very major part of
It will, because even as we speak today, the AI is being introduced in many things. If you go for ChatGPT, it's using AI. If you do into the normal software that we use day to day, for example, our photo taking, our video taking, AI is there, and I can just change my face to anyone's face, and it's there. It's readily available. And the best or the worst part, depending on how you look at it, even children at the age of 7 years old were able to operate handphone, for able to operate iPad or tab for that matter, is able to use this AI effectively. And imagine you are in a bank where AI is out there, AI is available, and your security is not there, and you are not constantly developing, you'll be at risk.
But AI becomes part of your development, becomes part of your operations,
Yes.
becomes part of the security.
Yes. So it's constant. So the thought process, I mean, agile self-DevOps is not just a thought process where you put it in your head and try to practice and exercise it. It coupled with tools that is available to check on you, to update you, or to report to you what are the things that you have to do to comply. Of course, it won't tell you what to do, but it says, yep, you are not complying under this, using these tools, you are not in compliance, these are your shortfall. You need to think more. And by the time you catch up, there is also where a new tools is being introduced, and you have to keep track because of this whole cycle. It's actually a cycle of agility, development, security, and operation. Okay, Aziz, I think let's take a break for about 5 minutes and see what's the sponsor have to say for us. Until then, we catch up shortly. All right, take care. Okay, welcome back to our podcast. Aziz, we're being told that I know this is a technical topic. This is a very serious topic. Then I think we need to santai because the methodology or delivery of this podcast is actually santai. So cheers, have a cup of coffee, and let's see whether we can santai after this. Yeah.
Yes. I understand. I know how much people love to hear all these technical details, these crazy technical details and all these details.
Because I think why we do it santai because when the delivery is more informal, and I think the audience could sit back, relax, and absorb more information. Yeah. Okay, coming back to DevSecOps, I think initially we did mention about tools. We did mention just a little bit more about tools because in DevSecOps, it's not only about methodology, it's not only about thought process, but there is a guiding tools that is available in the market and to be used in complying with the DevSecOps.
All right.
Yeah, maybe you can share some of the tools that is available.
Okay, so typically the framework for Agile and DevSecOps is not particularly well defined because this is Agile, so it's pretty open.
Okay.
So as a joke, right, this is really what most people hate because you're talking about something nebulous, but it has dollars and cents on it. So everybody always hates it that I can't define my dollars and cents, but I got to do this.
Yes, I think yes. Probably you're talking about cost here as well, because to apply this tool, yes, some of the tools are available freely in the market. But then again, to be more prudent, you probably want to get more certified or more certified from authorized developer, authorized vendor of the tools that can comply with the DevSecOps methodology process. Yeah. I don't know whether you want to name some tools or maybe just give an example. What are the tools or what will the tools do actually in the DevSecOps?
So obviously there are very different phases of the DevSecOps, which probably we won't go into here.
Sure.
Because we want to kind of keep it as probably not too technical,
Sure.
right? But we can say, like, for example, there's the management phase and the planning phase. So you can use your typical project management tools or your planning tools, right? I think the one very popular in the market currently is Jira. So that's really popular, and that actually is one of the fundamental tools. It has a board and whatnot, which you can use for the management for Agile. For the build tools, basically you have the software, you have to store the software somewhere. So this is also very well known in the market. GitHub, Git, whatever form of Git, you can use that as tools, right? Okay. And then obviously you have the building tools where you are from your software, how do you build it into something that you can deploy? And this is the usual Maven, Gradle, and various other things, right?
This information on the tools. I mean, assuming I'm not the project team. Assuming I'm more on a business user or more on a decision maker in deciding which software, which vendor do I choose. It's available. I think Mr. Google will be able to tell us where they are.
Mr. Google is really, really good at this, I think.
I think ChatGPT also will be able to tell. So I can use that as a guideline and actually understand what the tools will do and how do we integrate this into our development.
Well, the good news is you could actually implement this with literally zero cost. Because we have the open source movement.
Okay.
And all of the tools are available at the fundamental level.
Okay. So stop there. For all project managers out there, now take notes, yeah? These tools are available in the market at zero cost. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, Mr. CEO, there is no reason for you not to comply on the DevSecOps. Yeah? Correct?
Yes.
Okay. See? All right. Go on, Aziz. I think yes, there are tools available.
But maybe a little caveat. A bit of caveat on that one. Okay. In banking industry, typically, we have to be very careful of standards. Okay, so there are standards which is internationally known, like ISO 27000, like PCI DSS.
Okay,
or even best practices guidelines like OWASP. Okay, Open Web Application Suite project, right? And then we also have institutional legal requirements like from ministries like RMIT. Okay, risk management in IT. This is for Malaysian context. Okay, and you have various other regulations that you undertake to. Okay, so these practices kind of sets what you really need to do.
Okay.
So it depends on how engaged you are or how deep you are in the process, and that will mean how far are you going to go in your implementation of DevSecOps.
Okay. So for a recap, DevSecOps, there is no hard and fast rules about it, but there are practices. Your ISO 2000,
27001.
20,
27,000.
27,001, your RMIT, there is guideline and best practices.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that is done by the industries and it be shared with them. So, by complying to these guidelines, you will not go wrong. You actually have that DevSecOps thoughts or methodology in embedded in your project.
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm sure.
Well, just going on with the tools, right? So there's a few tools, right? Once you have deployed, okay, so you might want to monitor your network. So we have like something like Zabbix, right? If you want to test, right? So you have I don't know, SonarQube, then you have even from OWASP, you have OWASP that there's test. Right? So you're able to actually at the same time monitor your current performance, and you're also able to do a certain security understanding of your software, of your deployment, right? And again, these tools are generally available for free.
Okay.
But again, the caveat is how deep you want to go into the standards, right? So this is where obviously I'm not saying everything is free, right? When you start going into these standards, you really need to engage the proper professionals in order to be able to understand. Okay, because everything is a question of risk,
correct?
Right, understanding your risk, your exposure.
So it's not a matter subscribing to these tools or downloading these tools, but also the depthness. How in depth are you in? Because some people, if you just subscribing or downloading these apps and using it only on the surface, you will shoot yourself in your own foot, because you're just floating through, isn't it?
Yes, but I guess it really depends on your business model, right? How much risk are you exposing your customers? Right? So in certain business models, you might not be that much risk at all, right? So you don't really need to invest very much. But in certain sectors, like banking sectors, we do have to take this seriously.
Okay.
Because obviously in our industry, right? Money is it. If you lose it, it's done.
Yes, I think not only money, but also in terms of data. Because data protection is
privacy,
privacy. All that is very critical, and you need to control, or you need to protect your customer or your customer from the data by using the data protection act, and by applying DevSecOps methodology in your development, you can be assured that you're in compliance with the others ISO 2020, ISO
27,000.
27,000. I can't remember.
There are a lot of ISOs.
Okay.
So it's not
others.
Don't worry. I don't even know. I don't think I even know a tenth of the ISOs.
Okay. Others software, other tools that's available in the market. But okay, Aziz, let's say I decided to have this approach in my development. I tell my IT managers, I tell my project managers, make sure that we have this in our DevSecOps. But I don't think this is it, isn't it? That it won't be so like, okay, you have done this, so your rest be assured. I'm sure there are pros, there are cons on using this Agile DevSecOps, because the loops is on infinity. So again, whatever I develop today, my team member have to actually improvise to comply and to follow through. And I think one of the thing that I look at it is that my cost. Means my cost will to catch up with technology, keep abreast with technology. My cost will be on the increasing, isn't it?
Right.
So maybe you can share the pros and the cons of this DevSecOps.
I guess we'll start with the cons first.
Okay.
Because there's always a controversy. Right?
All right. No problem.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Start with the bad one first.
Cool. I mean, obviously you can guess. This is the first conclusion you can jump. Because Agile is an infinite process.
Yes.
Okay. Any budgeting manager, any CFO manager, any CFO will hate this.
Yes.
Because how do I bound the problem? Right? How do I bound my cost? Because if it keeps on evolving, how do I do it?
Correct.
So this is one of the major challenges. Again, as I mentioned before, it is not a perfect process, but it is a necessary process given the flexibility of the day, right? But not saying that it's easy. Okay, so budgeting becomes a challenge because it's all the requirement can change. All the requirement can change at any time. Any implementation can be done. How do I bound it?
Correct.
Cost, with reasonable cost, right? So this is where management from the traditional needs to be aware of the new practice.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Because at the end of the day, it's a compromise.
I think that's what we hope this podcast will do for those management who are not IT, who are on financial background or more on the management background. and your project team will come in and wanted to implement DevSecOps, I think we hope that this podcast will be able to give you a clear picture of what this methodology is all about. And at least at the end of the day, when your project manager or your IT head or your project team comes to you and talk about DevSecOps, at least you understand, and at least, yep, I know this, and I know my budget will be till when,
Right.
yeah?
But also the quantification of the budgeting, right? This usually for Agile and waterfall method, the biggest controversy and the biggest con is usually the budget.
Correct.
Right? In general, Agile works well on a technical perspective, but on a financial perspective not so much, because the quantification for Agile is on time. Right? Because I have my infinite cycle, so I do this infinite cycle in a certain time period. Then I repeat that and repeat that and repeat that. Right? So this would depend how fast can I implement new things. It will depend on the number of resources. It will depend on time, but it will not depend on work. So this is a challenge, right? How do I map time to work? Because the work breakdown structure in our traditional waterfall method, you're clear. This work, you deliver this function, and then by Agile, this function and this function may change, and then how long is this going to take? How much resources is it going to take? Is this additional man hours? Is it additional man days? And that kind of thing, right?
So I think that's not only a headache to your finance team, but it's also a headache to your project team, because then where do I stop? Well, where do I say, okay, this is it? No, because of the infinity loops, isn't it? So today I could be getting 5 tools and getting probably 5 or 10 people doing it, but because of the loops coming in, I need to start. These 5 team members need to be retrained. Another 5 members need to come in to support this sort of things, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Beside cost, what are the other cons?
Okay.
Any other cons?
Well, cost is usually cost and time.
Cost and
Okay. Even engineering-wise, the scope can be controversial because you can't really fix the scope.
Okay.
Right?
Because
so
it
that,
moves.
because it moves, right?
Anyway. So you have a basic requirement, but when you implement the DevSecOps, it moves. And by the virtue of time, your requirement, yes, it can be done. However, because of the best practices and all that, your requirement might not be the best requirement at the point of delivery.
Right.
Okay. What are the pros?
Okay. The process of agility.
Agility.
Yes. To adapt to the current requirements, the current movement of the systems today, of all the customers today,
Agility.
Yeah.
Because
You can't survive as a business.
Correct.
I won't say you can't survive.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to survive if in this space if you are not agile.
Because the customer can come to you today and tell them their requirement, and by the time you wanted to deliver the project, it could be 1 year or 6 months down the road. That same requirement has
evolved 5 times.
Yeah, it probably be obsolete.
Yes.
Yeah, by the time the market has drive
Yes.
the market has drive the industries, and you probably I don't need this anymore. I
Yes.
got a new
Right.
requirement are coming. Okay, that's the benefit. So because of the agility, I think Aziz mentioned about cost, Aziz mentioned about time. Of course, how agile is your team members to deliver the project, but how do I take this DevSecOps? Okay, we know there's a practices. We know that is the best practices available today. We know the ISO requirement and sort of things. But how do I take this to the next level? Is there such thing as DevSecOps version 1, DevSecOps version 2?
Not particularly.
Okay.
It is an agile process. So
Okay.
it involves, and for every company or every individual is different. But let me just go back a little bit to the human resources side, right? So for the managers, for the company management, right? The DevSecOps, the agile method, allows the flexibility of development, which means they can evolve very quickly as fast as possible with the customers, right? And it's not only software houses doing this. There are many companies which have actually adopted this, even hardware companies, even space companies. There's one famous one which they don't mention here, but they've actually adopted this methodology in hardware development. Okay, that's on the management perspective. So this gives you agility to serve your customers. And the better you evolve this process, it's all about efficiency. How fast can I adapt? How fast can I evolve? So if you put this into your mindset, you can definitely take it to the next level. As a person, as an employee, this methodology is very important for you to survive in this modern industries, right? In our current difficult economic climate, honestly speaking, it's not really the most knowledgeable one we survive. It's the most agile one. Right? So you need to be able to adapt to various aspects. right? And so if you're talking about a developer, right? Maybe there's no job as a developer. Oh, I can be operations. If there's no job as operations, maybe you can be security.
Yeah.
Right? If you can be AI, or you can be engineering, right? So this gives you as a if you develop yourself to the next level properly in this method, it gives you flexibility to move around in industry. And it really is a win-win situation, right? So the company gets what you want, right? The employee gets what he wants. And all we need to do is really, again, back to the
But
contractual.
the accountant doesn't get what he wants
Well,
because the budgets keep on moving.
Right.
Isn't
So-
it? Because of the infinity loop.
yes, but try to understand that, to go back to that, right? It's really, everything can be contracted properly, right?
Correct.
The thing is, we need to better understand. This is why understanding DevSecOps and Agile processes is exceedingly important for BSFI, financial institution, right? Or also for software implementers, and also for the employees. It's very important to understand how are we actually contracting this. So this allows you to scope it properly.
Okay.
Okay, so this, and typically how, on my side, how we implement it, we actually have a mix of both. We actually have a waterfall method, which we do not discard. We're not saying nothing is wrong with the waterfall methods, but certain parts of the waterfall methods has been adapted to
To Agile. Okay.
so this is kind of how we try to solve both problems. Not saying that it's perfect, but mutual understanding for both sides definitely allows you to take this to
Okay.
the next level. So again, to answer back to your question, going to the next level, meaning that you work it on the management side, you work it on the resources side,
Understand.
right? And you work it on the
Okay, great. Thanks, Aziz. I think we have come to an end of our sharing session today in our series of digital banking in the clouds. However, please feel free. I'm sure we have not covered details because I don't think we want to make this podcast or this YouTube channel as technical, but more towards general, so that the accountants, the vice president, the chairman can understand what is this DevSecOps is all about and implement it in your project. Yeah, we'll take a break and we'll come back in about 5 minutes. Thank you. Thank you, Aziz, for sharing. I think the objective, I hope we achieve this objective in our podcast because to discuss in depth about DevSecOps, it will be more technical, and I don't think we want to make this a technical video, a technical podcast. I think this podcast or this video will be our target group will be the CEOs, the finance people, the project head, and also the C level, where they're actually making a decision to approve or not to approve the proposal that is submitted by the IT team. Okay, and I think DevSecOps is critical in making sure, and also using AI in your DevSecOps is very critical in making sure that whatever development that we put in place in our organization complies and have the best practices. Yeah. Please feel free to comment. First thing is what else that you wanted to see or hear, and what about the comments on this current videos and current podcasts? Is there room for improvement? And please give us a positive comment. What are the improvements that you wanted us to see, wanted us to do, so that it be more pleasant and more beneficial podcasts and YouTube channels for you all. Okay, till then, I wish you all the best. Take care. I think we'll meet again before Chinese New Year. But if we don't, then happy Chinese New Year. Right? Take care. Bye.